Welcome to the Underground Railroad. What is the Underground Railroad? Well, it's not an underground railroad. It was called underground because of the secrecy involved. It was called a railroad because it was a process of transporting people. The Underground Railroad ran from 1810 to the 1860s. The peak was right before the Civil War in the 1850s. Slavery was widespread and mostly in the South. Some of the most well-known people who started the Underground Railroad were Harriet Tubman, William Still, Levi Coffin, and John Fairfield. Conductors were the guides that helped the escaping slaves get their freedom back. People also helped them by providing food and money. They were called the stockholders. The people who operated the safe houses or the stations were called the station masters. Most of them were ordinary people, farmers, and business owners, even ministers. The Underground Railroad led the slaves to the northern states and to Canada from the deep south, because the northern states and Canada had no slavery. The ultimate goal of the Underground Railroad was to free the slaves. They ended up freeing about 130,000 slaves. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 was created so when someone found and helped the escaped slaves, they then had to return them to their owners in the South. The escaped slaves would travel mostly under the cover of night, hoping not to get caught. The safe houses were sometimes 10 to 20 miles apart. If an escaped slave was captured, force could be used if the slave did not cooperate. This meant that the ordinary people would want to capture the escaped slaves, which then made it harder and more dangerous for the slaves to hide. They usually had to move north on their own until they got farther north, where they were finally safe. The punishment of the people who helped the slaves escape was death by hanging. It was against the law to help the slaves escape. So who were these people that helped them? They were called abolitionists. Slavery was a brutal way of life. The blacks were mistreated, overworked, underpaid, and they were oftentimes beaten and even killed. The abolitionists did not believe that this was right. In 1998, Congress passed the National Underground Railroad Network to Freedom. It was an act to save the slaves of resistance against slavery in the United States of America. Now, it is illegal to have slaves in the United States.
I'm Austin. And I'm Bryce. Thank you for joining us on the Underground Railroad. Choo choo! Bye!